Welcome to the weekly pint. I'm the gnarly gnome. Let's see. What's everybody drinking tonight? I need to crack open a beer myself. Let's see. Marco is drinking Jack's Abbey, Hauser Lager, and then Julia drinking West Side's Peanut Butter Milk Stout. I did not get any of the peanut butter milk stout. I don't think I have any in there. Definitely got plenty of the. No, yeah, I did. I don't know. I'd have to look in there. I have no. Yeah, I'm 90% sure that I did. In fact, maybe I'll crack one open. I was going to. So I happened to find cans of Dark Throne, which has been gone, or I thought was gone for a long time, and I found some cans randomly sitting on a shelf in a gas station, so I had to snatch some up because it's so good. This is the Dark Czech Lager from Fretboard, but now that you mention the peanut butter milk stout, one, I'm curious if I have it, and two, thinking that maybe I want to grab one. Lee is drinking Spyglass, and his wife is drinking Shade. Marco says House Lager, sorry. Yes, I have definitely had that one. I figured it was some kind of fancy name for their house lager, like Hauser Lager. It's actually kind of clever. Let me look in my fridge here real quick and see if I've got milk stout, just out of curiosity. Sorry, guys. Quad. And yeah. Hey. I do. Look at that. It's like a surprise. I am curious. So there was one peanut butter beer recently here that I had that when I got down to the very bottom of it, there was a really, really, really thick layer of peanut butter. I'm hoping this doesn't do that on me. Jeff's giving me crap for dead air. Sorry, I had to get a beer. And Bob says he just finished a Nocturnal from Sonder. I'm a huge fan of that. This is my first time trying this beer. We get to experience it together, guys. It says, Westside Brewing, our peanut butter milk stout. Oh, man, that smells good. Our peanut butter milk stout features aromas of chocolate, coffee, peanut butter, and a light roast note. A dash of oats is also used in the brew to provide a full malt body. The nutty peanut butter flavor works with the sweetness from the lactose to help soften the roastiness, which comes through mostly on the finish. 6.7% stout brewed with lactose with flavor added. So I'm going to guess that this is not actual peanut butter. So don't have to worry about peanut butter sitting in the bottom. Somebody pointed out online, and I didn't see if they responded to it. The back of this can has a little logo. You can't see that. I don't have a light where you could see it. There is a New Riff logo here. Well, you can't see it. A New Riff logo on the back, like it was barrel aged, but this wasn't barrel aged. So I'm curious if it was some kind of artwork mix up, or if this was originally supposed to be barrel aged, or what exactly happened there. But Julia says, I haven't had any layer of peanut butter in any of my cans, but have found some extra peanut butter flavor if you swirl the last of the beer in the can. We'll give that a go just in case. I mean, it does look, that last little bit looked like there was something going on, but I don't know. And John is drinking Madri Luna Lux. Still haven't had one this year. Talking about peanut butter before I try this. Peanut butter is hard to do in beers. So you either have to use actual peanut butter, which doesn't work just putting actual like physical peanut butter in there. You have to use that powdered stuff. where you have to use flavoring, and you know how everybody feels about flavoring anymore. So, Derek is enjoying an Urban Artifact mixing machine while the mixed precipitation continues in Northeast Ohio. Yeah, we got the same thing going on down here. Not nearly as much as they said we were going to get, but it is definitely it's doing something outside right now. I couldn't tell you what at this point, but we've had a little bit of everything today. All right, let me try this. Peanut butter. I smell peanut butter. Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's really well balanced. Yeah, I like that a lot. Very different than some other peanut butter beers in that it is so balanced that lactose kind of rounds it all out. What part of what I like about, and we'll just Nutcase, I guess, is the beer you always compare a peanut butter beer to in this city, or in my opinion, just about anywhere. This is very different than Nutcase. Julia says, I like that this is more... Oh, I should put the chat up for you guys so you can see what people are saying. Where is it? There we go. She says, I like that this is more bittersweet than a dessert sweet milk stout, if that makes sense. That does make sense. I completely, just jumping away from stouts in general, I go straight to comparing this to Nutcase because that's the way my brain works. And Nutcase is such a great beer. This is definitely sweeter. Nutcase has that big roasty kind of thing going on. This doesn't have that at all. It's a milk stout, front and center, and then that peanut butter kind of comes in. Yeah, that's really good. I definitely get peanut butter when I taste it. I get way more peanut butter in the aroma, and then a little bit kind of at the end of the taste. That's a fun beer. That's a good beer. I could drink a lot of that. They are making a huge mistake if they don't do that more often. Just their straight up regular milk stout, I've been really enjoying this the last, I don't know how long, a month maybe, that I've had it sitting in the fridge. It's really, really good. Not that anything that they have done has not been good. They've been cranking out some really great beer, and really, I think, getting a lot more people to pay attention to them because of that. It's hard to draw attention to yourself when you're tucked away on the west side of the city, and so many people, think that that's the other side of the universe. It's not. So it's hard to kind of get people to really focus on you and pay attention, especially when so much of what you do is that traditional kind of, normal beers. So the fact that they are able to do that in the middle of a pandemic by just cranking out great true to style beers is something to behold, I guess. I want to anything you guys want to talk about, feel free to throw it up on the chat, and we can go that. Or phone lines are open. If you don't know the phone number, I'll put it up for you. It's 567-70-DRINK, or if that's too complicated, 567-703-7465. You can call in and take part in the show that way. Or anything that you put up in the chat, obviously, I can see here, and all of you guys, as you see it pop up on the screen in front of you, all of you guys can see it. So no matter where you're listening, we're all part of the same thing here. That's the entire point of what this is. I know everybody that I'm seeing commenting are people that have been here before. You guys know what this is about, but it's a happy hour. It's just an excuse to sit for 45 minutes or so and have a beer together and just talk about whatever we want to talk about. Usually drinking related, but it doesn't have to be. We can talk about kids and the chaos around that. We could talk about snow. We can talk about whatever you guys want to talk about, just throw it out there and we can do that. I have a lot of stuff that I could have a very large list in front of me. I had a kid's birthday party this weekend. My 3-year-old is now a 4-year-old, so that's been exciting. And obviously the White Death outside. That's exciting. We could talk about that. But one thing that I do want to do, I want to start doing a new segment on this show that is not a show. For a while, I was putting up local label approvals to just the NOMIs on kind of a hidden page on the website, and I haven't been doing that lately. I'm going to transition that into this show because I think that's fun, and I think it's fun to talk about it. Jeff Stein, you'll get a kick out of this one if you are still listening because you guys have several in this batch from the last week from the distilling side of the world. For future reference, it's not going to help anybody today. If you have a label that has gotten approval and you don't want me to talk about it, you got to reach out and tell me now. I'm not reaching out to people anymore. I had a hectic week this last week of some people letting me down and other people coming through and filling the gaps. But I'm not fighting to make anybody happy anymore. Let's put it that way. So we will get rid of the. I don't know. Let's see what this looks like with the stuff on the screen. All right. Yeah, it's all right. At least for this label. Some of them, the chat and the logo and stuff is going to sit on top of the labels a little bit. But if it's a problem, we can fix that. But first up, Sam Adams Fresh Pops. It's a kind of a series that they've done in the past. They do these popsicle themed beers. A lot of them are a lot of the ones that I've seen I thought were kind of sour beers. This is not a sour beer. This is Orange Creamsicle, a fruited ale with lactose aged on tangerine and vanilla beans. Let's see. It says, so zoom in for you guys too. Yeah. Reminiscent of the classic Summertime Delight, Orange Creamsicle is the first of the Fresh Pops series. This fruited ale is packed with tans. So they're going to do a series in cans, too. That's the other thing that you should know about these labels. If you look, although it doesn't say it on here. This is a can label. This is not a bottle label. The rumor, and by rumor I mean it's happening, they're getting a canning line this year. I don't know how, or in the future. I don't know if it'll for sure be this year. I assume so. I don't know how they're going to do that. I don't know where they're going to put it. I don't know if it's going to be something that they can bring out when they need to use it every once in a while and then put it away somewhere. I have no idea, but it will be in the tap room there. It's not going to be across the street in the brewery. So this is the first of their Fresh Pop series. I'm excited about it. I think it sounds delicious. This is just the keg collar for. I'm gonna pull the chat off of there, guys. I'm sorry. I'll leave the logo up just because why not? This is just the keg collar for it. Nothing too exciting. Same beer. West Side Blood Orange Double IPA. So big double IPA, 9.3%. It says for this IPA, you guys can read what it says. You don't need me to read it. Excited about that. They also have the Juicy Double. They have their Juicy IPA out right now that's in the green cans. This is a Juicy Double IPA. I'm kind of curious if they do a Juicy Triple IPA too. If you guys have not tried their Triple IPA, it's insane. It's a big, giant Triple IPA. I hope they do that again soon. This Juicy Double, though, is only 8.2%. That's interesting. So it's not, it is a different beer. But I like the idea of doing kind of a double IPA series almost of different ones. Cincinnati's Distilling. This is the formerly known as Sycamore. So some of these are them just cranking out some labels for some of the previous stuff that they've done under the Cincinnati Distilling name. Other ones will be new things, as you'll see. On their mailing list, they list the upcoming beers. Triple IPA has been on the list for this is comments. Sorry, because I pulled them off the screen. You can't see them. Julia says that on the mailing list for their upcoming beers, the Triple IPA has been on the list for 2 weeks, hoping it's back before summer. I actually didn't notice that on there. I pay pretty close attention to the mailing list. More so, though, I just look for things that I know are coming in cans. I don't pay too much attention to the stuff that's on draft because I can't keep up with all of that. But Sean has chimed in. He says that there's a canning line called the Gosling that takes up almost no room. It's pretty wild. Does a decent amount of cans in a semi-automatic. Only danger just got one. That's interesting. We'll do a little reading into that. That would make sense for them because they don't have any space there. They have no space at all. The brewery itself, the brewery space is kind of just, it's all in line, and there's not any space around it. I don't know. It's interesting. All right, so Cincinnati Distilling, this is their American whiskey. They also have a wheated bourbon label. Small batch smoked malt whiskey. I am curious about this one. So kind of more in line with Scotch, but obviously not Scotch because this is America. Here's the quad. Everybody's seen that one at this point. Sometimes labels will come through after we've already seen them because you don't need label approval to release stuff in Ohio. If you're sending it across the river, you do. But you don't have to do it for and for the liquor side, I think it's different. But for beer, you don't. So some of these will just kind of come through after we've already seen them actually released. 5 Stories. This is Northern Row. This is their distillery side of the business. They did a release in the tap room, or I guess you still call it a tap room, tasting room. It's the same room. They did a in the building. They did a release so you can get their spirits there. This is the first one that I have seen. Admittedly I don't always watch the label approvals for booze as close as I do beer, but this is the first one that I have seen come through. The other ones might have. But this is their gin. I have not gotten to try any of their spirits yet, and I'm really, really itching to do it, and I don't know when I'm going to be able to get down there to do it. Actually, that's not true. There's a chance that in the next couple of weeks I'll be down there for something. So, what's next? Oh, Rheingeist. Rheingeist has a few keg collars. There's no new can stuff coming through right now that I've seen. They've been really slow on the can releases this year. They've done plenty of draft releases, though. And this is one of them, Nitro Glow, Fruited Sour. Then they've got Enigma, an Australian-style pale ale. I assume Australian style means Australian hops. I don't know that, though. Eclipse and Enigma are both Australian-style pale ales, both coming in 5.5%. Don't know there. Don't know what's going on. Back to good old March 1st, Cooper Island, a coconut cream rum. So with all of these, just because they have label approval does not mean they're actually going to be released, or that they'll be released anytime soon, especially in the spirits side of things, and especially with March 1st. Sometimes they will just send labels through just to have them through. They have had a lot in the past that still have not been released. So if you fall in love with this, don't go stand at your local liquor store staring at the shelf waiting, because who knows when it'll be. However, it is something to think about and to hope for. I threw Dysfunctional Delights Meadery in there because they're in Lebanon. That is local. I don't know a lot about mead, but I'm definitely going to be exploring more into it in the near future. So, Who Forgot the Cake? A mead with strawberries, vanilla beans, and cocoa nibs. See, that sounds delicious. I really want to get up there and try what they've got going on. And then Fuzzy Big Boy. A mead with peaches, apricots, and maple syrup. There is a lot going on with that label. I love it. Urban Artifact. Nothing new here. This is just a refreshed kind of label. They changed a couple things on it. And so Gyroscope, their raspberry Midwest fruit tart, and then a keg collar for that too. One more Rheingeist. This is Cloud Harvest 7, so this is a ways in the future. I assume kind of a test batch of it, or maybe not. Maybe it'll be final. Maybe we'll see the can artwork come through soon. Don't know. Then this last one is one that I definitely want to talk about. Christian Moorline, a new label. So I have seen a bunch of these new rebranded Moorline labels come through, and I've seen a lot of them come through previously. Since the brewery has closed and all of their production has moved somewhere else, this is the first one that I have seen come through. Interesting to note. And interesting is a very carefully chosen word here. If you look at the label on it, they, over here on one side, they just say Christian Moorline, Cincinnati Craft Brewery, established 1853 over the Rhine. And then over here on the other side, it just says brewed and canned by Christian Moorline Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. I feel like that's a little bit deceptive because it is not brewed at the same place it was before. Yes, I guess technically it's still brewed in over the Rhine. Although, no, it's not. I take that back. It is not brewed in over the Rhine anymore. I mean, I guess, Taft's the label came through as a Taft's label. So they're definitely contract brewing with Taft's, and this is the first one that we've seen come through. So it's interesting and something to kind of watch and pay attention to, because it looks like we are going to still see Moorline beers on shelves. They will look a little different and obviously be brewed somewhere else. So that's that. Definitely something to ponder over. What else? So next week, I am really, really excited because I get to do my first beer dinner in a very long time. That's this great little Miami beer and food pairing event with Narrow Path and Municipal, and then Tano Bistro. They're doing two separate dinners, one at the Tano in Hamilton and one at the one in Loveland. At the dinners, they're doing a collaboration beer as part of the it's a 5-course meal. They're doing the collaboration beer as one of the courses. I assume the dessert, because it's like a chocolate cherry something or other stout, I think. And then two of the other beers are two of the Narrow Path medal winners, and then the other two are Municipal medal winners. So it's 4 medal winning beers, and then this collaboration beer. I'm so excited to go to this. It's been so long since I've gotten to go to a beer dinner, so I'm excited about that. Also going on right now, or getting ready to start, I assume that most of you guys have heard about Dell and what he's doing. So Dell Hall, better known maybe as the beer fasting Ohio man, is doing his beer fast again this year. Sergeant Dell, Real American Bureau, is his tagline for this year. It's cheesy, it's funny. He only drinks beer during Lent, like the monks in theory did. All of his calories come from beer, basically. For 40, what is it? 40, let me see here. 46 days total. So starts this Wednesday the 17th and goes until April 4th, which is Easter. So something to note about it, though, is that he's using it to raise money. He did the same thing last year. He raised $10,000, I think, last year for a local charity. He's wanting to blow that out of the water this year and do $50,000. You can get on to, he has a GoFundMe set up where you can do a virtual tip jar kind of thing and send the money that way. So pay attention to that. Watch for that. Any local, right? I assume it doesn't have to be local. Any Ohio liquor license holder can team up with him, and you can get, well, so the money is going to people who work in the service industry. So when it's all said and done, he's going to split 100% of whatever he raises up between people in the service industry. To get in on that, you have to go and sign up with him and get his little flyers and stuff you have to put around your bar or tap room or whatnot. So that's that. Whew. That's a lot to cover. On another note, yeah, as I said, I now have a 4-year-old in my house. We had a birthday this weekend, so that was exciting. If you've been following along with the show, you know my life has been a little chaotic lately. We've had a sick baby for the last, I don't know, month, and I think we're finally on the other side of that. He's slept through the night most nights for the last week or so. Knock on wood, of course. Hopefully he will sleep through the night again tonight. I think that's really hard too, like when you have a kid, going through something like that where you get used to them sleeping through the night and then they throw you off by not one night. It makes it so much harder. If every night they just don't sleep, you get used to it. So hopefully we are out of the woods as far as all that goes. Do we want to talk about this week's Brewcast? If you listened to this week's Brewcast, I went into it a little bit, but I had a show scheduled. And if you listen to this show, I think I said last week where I was supposed to be. So, you know who canceled on me. Yeah, I'm kind of furious about it, and shouldn't be. It really shouldn't be a surprise. Ask a handful of people what they feel about that place, and there's a lot of people with some stories. So I don't know. I guess now I've got my story, and yeah, it's rough some weeks to figure out how to fill those gaps when somebody does that. So I don't know. Don't know what to say about it. Also, I think my chat is delayed here. I don't think it'll mess anything up if I close it here. Just a second, guys. This may mess something up, and it may not. I don't know. And put that over here. See what happens. All right. It's back, but we'll see if it's actually working. I'm getting a bunch of dropped frames, which is not good. Yes, Marco, you are correct. Catch me somewhere over beers one day, and I will dive into the full story about those guys canceling on me. What else? What else is interesting you guys right now? Has anybody had any other beers that are noteworthy? I have been just kind of drinking through the. Julie says the stream still looks fine on this end. Yeah, it's not bad. It's not anywhere close to where it was, when I was having all my technical issues. It you can see when it kind of drops frames, and it's definitely dropped a few frames throughout the episode, which nobody would really notice unless it gets really bad. Let's actually remove that, see if that helps. Okay. When I put too many things into too many graphics and things, sometimes it slows it down too much. There is a way. So if I would have to reverse. I can do little picture-in-picture things instead of actually putting graphics in. Let's see what that looks like. In theory, I think maybe. Here I gotta do this. See, I could do it but I'll have to do it the other way. But it's so tiny. So, in theory, I could do this reverse to where the artwork was up here with, I don't know. Tell you what, it's sometimes it's not worth the hassle. Julia says she finally got her hands on some Nocturnal. It's delicious. I'm all about Schwarzbier season. Yes. So I next. I don't know if it's next week's show. I have another show already recorded that I did with the guys at Sonder with Justin and Danny. We did that kind of a digital experimental show, and during that we talked about a lot, but we talked about Schwarzbier a little bit. Talked about Nocturnal, and Danny mentioned that he thought that there was this period in Cincinnati between Oktoberfest and before Bachfest season where we go nuts about Schwarzbier, and that it could become its own season. And I'm all about that. I agree with it, and I'm fully embracing it. Obviously, we are now headed into Bach season in Cincinnati, so we kind of missed out on celebrating Schwarzbier season as much as we should have. But next year we're gonna do it big. I think my first Bach Fest post hits tomorrow. I think today's Monday, right? Yeah, yes, it's Monday. It's the weekly pint. So it hits tomorrow morning. My first Bach Fest post. Not the full Bach list yet. I'm still kind of tweaking that one around, and still need to shoot off a bunch of emails to confirm and ask questions about some other Bach beers that I'm hoping hit the draft lines and cans around town. This is a goofy year too, because I don't know. Normally, most years I can kind of get a good feeling for who's going to put theirs in cans and bottles and versus just on draft. I have no idea this year. Anybody could package anything, and anybody could not package anything. Anybody could produce a Bach just for shits and giggles, and just as many people could just decide, we've made a Bach every year, but we're not doing it this year. So it's I don't really know the full count yet. There are definitely still plenty of Bach beers happening, and I anticipate that we will see more in packaging this year than we did last year. Obviously, William Goat at Saunders. We've already seen that on shelves. I've seen Emancipator on shelves, which I don't know. I don't know when that was brewed, honestly. What other box have already been on shelves? I could pull up my post and see, but it's not really done. Cincy Schwarzbier Showdown. That would, Oktoberfest is hard anyways, but there is, again, that range of what that style means. You get some that are just super, super roasty, and then some that kind of lean more into like a sweeter, maltier side of things. Be ton. It'd be very difficult. It would be sweet to see 12 Days of Bachfest or something from one of the craft beer stores. That would be fun. Yes. John points out to Julia that there's also a Bachfest package deal of them on the Bachfest site. Yeah, so one of the again, it's in my post tomorrow about kind of how we are celebrating Bachfest this year, but one of the things that they're doing is they have these packages that you kind of like Oktoberfest, where you could get this celebrating at home kit. They're doing that for Bachfest, just a little bit different. So you can get a package that has sausages and the poster and all that stuff, but then one of the packages has a 6-pack of mixed Bach beers, and one has a 12-pack of mixed Bach beers. Sorry, I'm trying to pull up the post one. So I don't know how many of those are different or which ones are in there. I do enjoy Emancipator normally. I've had it before and not enjoyed it, so let's see. What I know for sure, 1, 2, I'll just count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to say 11, 12, 13, 14. Right now that I know for sure, we have 14 of them on my list that are probable. Some of these will get knocked off, and there might be some more added. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 34 is the tentative number right now. Let's see. Does March 1st still do their Bach? That was pretty solid as well. They do. They when they first opened, they did it or tried to do it year round, and that didn't last very long. But they do still do it this time of year. I don't think I've seen it out yet, but perfect. There we go. The bigger question is, are we doing the March 1st Hellerbach and a Fig Leaf Bach this year? Because Fig Leaf's Bach was pretty tasty last year, if I remember right. Didn't they do some kind of, what was it called? Three wolf something or other? Or am I making that up? Marco is not doing a Bach this year. Bach is tough. It's a goofy beer style, and it's got a short little window where people drink it. I love them though. Are there any other beer styles that are that pumpkin, I guess. Pumpkin is similar to where they really have this very short window. I feel like Bach, you could trick people after Bach season. Just call it something else. It was a Weissenbach. 3 Wolf Moon, not this year. All right. So that knocks 1 off of my 30, what did I say, 34, something like that list. It's very complicated trying to get that list together. I pride myself when I put a post like that out to have it be as accurate as possible. It will always change, but I hate putting it out there and and have it not be anywhere close to being right. Sean says, "Call it Shiner." Yeah, you can do a year. You can do a year-round Bach. Just although Shiner is not the best example of what a Bach is. There's probably other examples out there. I like the idea of doing some kind of multi darker lager like that year-round, and just every season changing what it's called, just to play on people's seasonal drinking habits. And I'm one of those people that drinks very seasonally. You can you throw a seasonal out there, and I'm gonna flock to it, especially if it's a lager. Marco said he had the Doppelbock from MPH yesterday. I have not tried that one because they didn't have it last year, obviously. I will hopefully try it this week. Not to, I keep telling, made the joke on this week's Brewcast that I'm not going to tease places that I'm going to anymore. But I am recording, in theory, later this week at MPH. Are we supposed to call them MPH or Montgomery Public House? I'm still very confused about that whole thing. But supposedly we're finally getting that show recorded this week after, bumping it around a few times. We will get it done, I promise. If the White Death lets us. Luckily, if all hell breaks loose this week and we don't get it done, I have a show ready to go. So I am going to try very hard to never put myself in that position again. It's very frustrating. Marco says, I guess you can ask him this week. Oh, I will. It is definitely on. I believe it's on my show notes. Let me see. Yes, definitely on my notes. I have all my notes on the iPad in front of me. Sean says, I had a winter squash the other day. He said changing the name from pumpkin made it the highest selling beer of the weekend. That's awesome. I love that. I know that lots of places, maybe don't change the name like that, but I very purposely to call something a fall ale versus, pumpkin or something like that is, or the Christmas beers versus winter beers. Cholito says it's all about how you market it. That is the half of the game that we're all playing, right? I like it. I'll drink it no matter what. You can put a pumpkin beer in front of me right now, and I'll drink it even if you call it a pumpkin beer. I enjoy it, but I fully recognize that is not the case with the average drinker in this world. So we'll wrap it up here, guys. I appreciate you hanging out with me for another week, and I appreciate that I can book a show with all of you guys and you show up for it. Wouldn't that be funny, though, one week if I just show up down here and I fire this thing up and just nobody shows up, nobody chats with me. I'm just sitting here talking to myself. I don't think that ever happened with this show. I think even like those first couple weeks, there was at least a handful of people that or here. I don't know that I've ever tried to do a live show without any people. Lee says, coming soon, the Shandy-Bach. That actually, I like the name, but it doesn't. Once I really start to think about it, I don't know that it sounds good. But maybe I'll try one this Bach season. I'll try a shandy with a Bach. Sean says, I know I'm way late to the game, but I'm getting caught up on shift beers. Was a little disappointed in the pumpkin beers that were selected. Gnome, we need to write the ship next year. Yes. We can definitely get some good pumpkin beers going on shift beers. I love shift beers. I'm still way far behind. I'm a little better than I was the last time we talked about it, but yeah, I'm way far behind in everything. My podcast listening has been very bad. 2021. Marco says I've only missed 2 weekly pints. I appreciate you guys being here every week, or as close to every week as you can be. It is so much fun just sitting and getting to have a conversation with people. This show is very very neat. It's very difficult on one hand to just try to talk without having a real conversation back and forth, just relying on the chat, but it exercises a few other muscles that I don't get to exercise in that way, and it's really fun just getting to socialize with people in some regard. Julia says, I know I've missed at least one, if not two. Greg says, I hear Bottle Lodge Montgomery might be opening pinball back up soon. Yeah, we are slowly getting these little flashes of normalcy with the curfew being lifted finally, although I haven't gotten to go drink late. I want to. One of these nights I'm just going to walk up to there's a bowling alley like really close to my house. That's the only like bar within real walking distance. There's a couple that I could walk to. But the bowling alley is the only one that is actually easy walking to. And one of these days I'm just going to walk up there at, 1 a.m. or something just to drink late. Julia says, Gnome sees our post first thing and goes, these two again. No, I don't. It is comforting to know that there is somebody here that I can talk to. It is, it's actually kind of terrifying to think of, terrifying is probably not the right word, but to think of trying to sit down and record for 45 minutes or something without a real agenda. I have like little things that I want to hit on, but the idea of just staring at a camera and just talking for 45 minutes, that's difficult. And it's not something that I really want to do. So I like having people here to do it with. So no, I do not say, these two again. But thank you all very much for being here, and tell somebody about this show. Tell somebody about Cincy Brewcast. Tell somebody about Prost. Get people to subscribe on YouTube. I still haven't hit that point where I can actually name the channel the way I want to name it. I have this stupid like numbers and letters and stuff, but we're close. I promise that as my life normalizes, we will get to create more video content, so stick around for that. And anything you want me to write about or make content about, just shoot me a message. That's what we do. It's collaborative. All right, well, thank you guys very much. We will be back next week. As always, thank you for listening to The Weekly Pint.